Hey, so I know we've talked about it several times, giving some sneak previews of what we had previously in alpha. But today I am here to introduce Dagger Cloud Early Access. We gave a quick update to the community through a Discord yesterday. And just a heads up, we'll be continuing to use our Discord community more that way, as well as like doing ad hoc impromptu discussions about Zenith and other projects. And so I encourage you to join. And I think Jeremy or Miranda can drop the link in chat. If you aren't a member, please join. So yeah, Dagger Cloud Early Access. Dagger Cloud is everything, way we're summarizing is everything you need to put Dagger in production. And I saw a question in chat about how do you solve caching with Kubernetes? So this is a good question, and we're going to cover that. That's one of the reasons why we have developed Dagger Cloud. So this is not a bring your own compute service, and we are not hosting your Dagger engines for you. So I want to make sure that's clear up front. So you bring your compute and your CI. If the Dagger engine can run on it, it works with Dagger Cloud. This service includes distributed caching, pipeline visualization, and operational insights. And I will go through each of those in the next few minutes. And I'm sure there's lots of questions, so I'm going to go through the list, and then we'll have a Q&A just at the end. And let's see here. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, distributed caching. So this overall. There's been a bunch of questions from the community and discussions in GitHub and in Discord about, well, how do you do caching in production? You have a distributed clustered system, multiple Dagger engines running with CI runners. How do I persist my cache and get that awesome caching that I have through my local instances in similar behavior in CI and in production? And what we found was that providing a centralized service through what we're providing in Dagger Cloud, which is a persistent cache that is great for both long-running engines or ephemeral engines that are running in your compute that's self-hosted, or ephemeral engines that are hosted by, say, a SaaS provider like GitHub Actions or GitLab. This enables also volume cache syncing as well. So like if you wanted like your node modules to be able to sync and not have to build those each time, that is something that we support within Dagger Cloud as well. And we support 26 regions and over multiple cloud providers. So the idea is you bring your infrastructure and the cache will work for you. This includes both data caching, and then there's all the orchestration that goes along with that. So there's been some questions around how does Dagger Cloud manage the cache? Like how does the cache pruning and like keeping it from growing for a long time? Those are things that are part of the administration that we handle for you, and we'll be adding more and more visibility for you on what's happening in the cache and optimization over time too. Okay, so pipeline visualization. We've done some demonstrations of this. JF and Julian did a real-world example of debugging with the Dagger Cloud UI. And this gives you the ability to have visibility into all aspects of your Dagger pipeline. So this is both what your code changes that you're making, say, as a developer, and validating that it's worked, following from, say, a GitHub check with the Dagger GitHub app, and seeing the change and seeing, is it actually my pipeline that's failing? Is there an issue with the pipeline or something the pipeline's dependent on? Or is there an issue with something that I've actually, the code change that I've made myself? So it helps you quickly assess what's going on within your pipeline. And then finally, we have operational insights. So along with all the caching, we're also pulling together the telemetry that's happening along with for all of your pipeline runs, your engine telemetry, and we're surfacing a history of your pre-push and post-push. So when we say pre-push, your runs from your development machines and those running in production in CI, and providing one interface for you to see those. And that is then you're able to then start over time. We're going to add more operational insights and trends and analytics for you so that you have cross-organizational trends and ways to optimize your processes and your pipelines. Okay, so I wanted to go back to what I'd said earlier, that this is a bring your own compute solution and bring your own CI. And so our goal is not to replace that, and CI is the place that you, either your local dev machine or CI is the place that you're initially doing the trigger for your Dagger pipelines. So we are supporting 3 platforms, and then you can see that we're supporting the multiple CIs, including like bring your own CI. There are, within our docs, which are live on docs.dagger.io, there's detailed guidance about how to set up Dagger Cloud with your CI. And there's one token that you, once you subscribe to Dagger Cloud, once you sign up, you have one token to set up and configure to be able to use Dagger Cloud, which includes the telemetry, the visualization, as well as the caching. And now I get to hand off and see the exciting demo. After Kyle's demo, we'll go into a bit more, give an update on pricing, and then we'll have time for Q&A.
Awesome. Hey, it's me again. Yeah, I'm going to show a quick demo. If you were here yesterday, this is going to look a little familiar, but maybe I'll do better this time. So in this little demo, I've got this monorepo project where I've got a front end that's React and a back end that's Node.js and does a bunch of things. And anyway, the important part is here I have this Dagger pipeline that does my CI. So I've got like a backend pipeline that does tests and builds and so on. Front end pipeline, same idea. And one important thing to note here too is like both of these pipelines use somewhere in my code here, they use a cache volume. So we've got this yarn cache that helps us, even if there's a bunch of code changes and my pipeline is completely cache miss, I still have this cache volume, so I don't have to download all of my node modules from the internet every time I've got this cache to make that step at least faster for me. And so here's my CI pipeline. If we go look at how this runs in GitHub Actions. We can see with this runs on that this is just running on just regular old GitHub Actions SaaS runners. Nothing fancy here. And this is one of the challenges without Dagger Cloud is with this setup, it's really difficult to get good caching, right? So we've got just regular old runners here. And then I check out my repo, we do npm CI, get a Dagger CLI, and then we just run that pipeline that we looked at. And then kind of the new thing to highlight here is this Dagger Cloud token. So this is how Dagger kind of instruments all this telemetry and caching and stuff so that all those things that Jen just talked about are going to be just part of my pipeline without any extra, instrumentation within the pipeline itself. It just drop this thing in, you're good to go. And so if I switch over, so we've got this pull request for this branch that we were just looking at. And we can see on this branch, so we've got this little Dagger icon down here. And so here's this first run. Let me make that way bigger for everybody. So that this check here is like that workflow we were just looking at, and that is connected to this check here, which is the Dagger Cloud connection here. So if I click through this, it'll take me to here. And so here is the Dagger view on the pipeline we're just looking at. So if we collapse this a bit, remember we saw like the back end and front end, and they were doing like tests, and this one has some services to run its integration tests. And we can see cache things here and running in GitHub SaaS runners. So this is the tricky part, right? So this is cache. We can see that our yarn install took 16 seconds, which is blazing fast for yarn, right? And then we hop over to our front end and we can see we actually had a test failure. So if I go down and look at the logs for this, then hopefully the log output is something that me as the person writing this pull request can look at this and be like, oh yeah, I broke this test, and then we can go back and fix that and get that nice feedback. So we've got that nice telemetry over how things are performing. We've got the output for my tests and pipelines, so I can understand what's going on with the pipelines, and then we've got the caching without me running some crazy infrastructure. And again, if you want to run whatever architecture for your CI runners, this just plugs right in as well. So, but the point in highlighting that GitHub SaaS thing is that it kind of plugs in anywhere. So that's the demo. Back to you, Jen.
Thank you. It's an awesome demo. Yeah. And then Kyle, you wanted to drop the link to your demo repo in the chat. That'd be awesome. Okay, so last thing, and then I'll hand off. I know we've got some super exciting examples coming up from, I don't want to spoil anything, but 1 second here. Let me, really, my video wasn't on. 1 second. Okay, so the next part is we're going to talk about the Dagger Cloud plans. So you could see our product website and our page and pricing at dagger.io/cloud, and our pricing page is at dagger.io/pricing. So our plans, we have 2 early access plans, and we're coming soon. We'll have a Dagger early access. So this would be visibility, but minus caching, so that for 1 person. So this is, I'm using Dagger, I want to try visibility, the pipeline visualization, debugging, the scenario that Kyle showed, minus the distributed caching. This will let you gain insights and have that debugging. And we'll see, like, this may be useful for Zenith, and we'll have more about this plan coming soon. Team Early Access is what we have ready now. Everybody, anybody signing up right now gets a 2-week free trial. The way that we're providing this as a package is that all of the features come together for 1 price. So you get visualization, operational insights. You'll have, as we build it out, more features around trends and analytics, and pipeline heuristics, and that includes the distributed caching under 1 price. So we decided that we would bill it per minute. So it's 5 cents per Dagger runtime minute, and it includes up to 100 users, and it's still bring your own compute and bring your own CI. So I know there's probably a bunch of questions that people will have around pricing, and there is in Discord, there's a pricing bike shed thread that Solomon has created, and also we're open to answering some questions here. Yeah, I think I want to just let everybody know that I've heard a lot of feedback. All the team has heard a lot of feedback. We've been very happy to hear that and want to hear more going forward, and that we both on GitHub issues is a good place to send us feedback. If you are a Dagger Cloud subscriber, we have a way for you to provide support as requests, as well as product feedback and requests in the app through Intercom Messenger. And Discord community is a great place too.